So yesterday, my on-site property manager quit. I got a text message, hey, I don't think I want the job anymore. I'm gonna fully enjoy my retirement. Thank you for the opportunity. Let me know what you need. So full disclosure, I was like secretly looking for another manager anyway, because I just wasn't super pleased, right? So I think it was felt, and it was probably mutual, So anyways, I kind of want to give you an insight on that. And whenever you have a park, it's really good to have boots and eyes out there, especially if you're managing virtually. And even if you're not going to be, unless you live out there, you're not going to be out there all the time, right? So you need some people you could trust. Well, this particular park that I bought already had an on-site manager in place. All right. And, the septic company didn't want to work for us anymore because she would do all the work herself. And the old managers thought that was amazing. And I don't, because when you're under a septic contract, that's a big no-no, So we ended up having to get another septic provider. Whenever I bought the park, she gave me a whole list of stuff. I was like, what do you like and what don't you like? I want to support you. I want this to go well. She's like, well, the mowers suck, so I'd like to do it myself. I'm like, cool. I'll buy you a mower, save me some money. You do it. Well, it wasn't happening, right? Like, it was just like always complaining, always a halfway job, that kind of stuff. So then I had to hire a mower, which I got at a good price because they mowed in my other parks down the road. So it was okay. And I got a cheaper price because they can use my mower. But then she's like, well, I want to make some extra money. And I'm like, well, cool. I need this, and this done, and it'll be extra. And it's just like halfway done, stuff like that, right? And so I was kind of on their ass a lot because, like, I'm a manager, right? Like, I used to manage 1,000 people in the oil and gas field. It's my specialty. So anyways, the tension was felt, and I'm glad she bowed out, and I get to find another one. But I'm not going to automatically go look for another one. Here's what I'm going to do. And just so you know, an on-site manager should tell you, whether it's an RV park, mobile home park, they should tell you the good and bad, what's going on, how the feel is of the park, give you some updates here and there. Within business hours, not like blowing you up. That was another issue. You don't need them to create work, right? Like, I have one in another park that's amazing. Like, she gets free rent. She keeps the place mowed. Like, she lets us know what's going on within business hours. Nothing, no drama, right? Like, she likes it there. Like, that's what you want. And that's what I've always had. And we found her. They didn't have one before, and she was one of our tenants, and she was having trouble with rent. And we were like, hey, actually my assistant was like, hey, if you want to manage this place, be our eyes, we'll just waive your rent each month. She's like, hell yeah. She's done a badass job. But anyway, back to this part. So I told my assistant, I was like, look, have the team go ahead and make a post, put some feelers out there, see if there's any handyman. That's what you want, is somebody that can do plumbing, electrical, all that stuff, not licensed. There's stuff you don't need licenses for, like changing fuses if they go out, or like fixing a leak. Like, you don't need licensed people for that kind of crap, right? So you'll get eaten alive. So I told the team to put some feelers out. Well, then my assistant, he knows what's going on, like in all the parks, because he's talking to the people all the time, getting rents, all this stuff. And he's like, hey, we got this handyman. He seems pretty cool. Already lives there. He's retired. Didn't have anything to do. Cool. So I reached out to the dude yesterday, and I didn't offer him a job. I just said, hey, I need steps built on some new tiny homes. Go ahead and get with Mark, right? I just want to introduce myself. I own the place. Get with Mark. You'll be communicating with him from now on, which is my assistant, and get him pricing, and we'll try out on a few jobs, And last night was a red flag to me because the guy texted me, hey, can I talk to you? And I said, no, you can talk to Mark during business hours. He said, okay, thank you. Sort of red flag, but it's okay, because you do have to set boundaries, and then some people respect them, some people don't. That's what I'll have to say, is like, the other management was so worn out, and they didn't understand why. They gave me this place at a steal because they were so freaking worn out. It was because the manager that they had was a big part of it. And there's seasonality in RV parks, so they were just worn out of trying to, keep them full, all all that stuff, which my plan's a little different than theirs. You know, I'm implementing like half tiny homes, half RVs. That's what I want, because I like that stable base, and then I get the premium of the RVs too. But anyways, when you're looking for a manager like we are, is like, I'm just going to try out a handyman, right? I want to make sure we see how we communicate, because imagine if I would have hired that guy yesterday and then he texts me late last night and I get a red flag and already hired him. That's not how you do stuff. And my assistant was already trying to hire him. He was like, oh, I told him this opportunity, and I was like, no, you can tell him there might be an opportunity, but I mean, he's going to have to do work for us for several months, like fixing leaks, driving the park, you know, showing people stuff, telling us, you know, what we need to know, and we'll just pay him for those jobs, and then we'll see what it adds up to. If it's not as much as his rent, we'll just keep paying him as a handyman, right? But if it starts looking like it's going to be more, then, and we like him, we like communicating with him, it's something that, you know, we need, then, you know, we'll hire him, and we'll just give him free rent and tell him to take care of the place. That's ideal too. Now, we have an office at this place, like a legit office. It's like a tiny home built into an office. And my other plan was like put a bedroom in that tiny home. If this dude didn't work out, put a bedroom in that tiny home. And if I did want a manager down the road, you know, they could live in that bedroom for free, right? And I still have the office up front. That was another thing that I'm tossing around in my mind. But I'd rather have, I don't like everything relying on one person at all, ever. Like, I feel like, you know, this person that we had before was like so hands-on, like, and they were talking to they shouldn't be talking to tenants about money and all this stuff, but anyways, they were trying to keep control of everything. That's a big red flag too whenever you're looking for I say property manager, but an on-site manager, because that's different than a property management. On-site manager is different. All right, property management's going to be like a company that collects the rent, you know, and make sure everything's going right. They're overseeing, but you need an on-site manager too, depending on the size of your park. Like, I've got a smaller park, it's like 25 spots. I don't need an on-site manager. I have a local handyman that's worked for me for years. He lived in the park for years. We just call him when we need stuff. Easy as that. But once you get these bigger parks, like this one's 88 units and it's RVs, so there's transient. Even though we focus on like the long-term clientele, because I don't like to have to keep track of all this stuff, and I just want steady money, you still probably need somebody there. Like, because here's another thing is, say the grass is getting overgrown because the people didn't mow and you didn't know it, right? You have somebody to tell you that. Say that, like, you know, I don't know, a fuse blew. They can just go to your, like, if we have a shop there, they can just go there, put a new fuse, it's done, right? Like, you got some people that came in and they want to stay there, but they don't really know their way around the place. You can have that person show them around, show them the spots, the good and the bad, right? And it just feels like a community. And nothing gets, like, I go to this park once a month. That's it. And then my team manages, like, our office number goes to them, right? And then when people have complaints, concerns, need stuff, they call the team. We have a portal, an Appfolio. They put in a work order if they need, you know, something done, which we don't have many rentals there, you know, like, it's RVs. They own their RVs, so we don't have a ton of maintenance. We do have some tiny homes, and, like, we do have a couple lots that need some electrical work, right? Which our lady knew about that and told us, but there's just knick-knack stuff that you'll need an on-site manager for. But don't be so quick to just hiring anybody. That's my whole point of this. Don't be so quick to just hiring anybody. Like, use some handymen, handywomen, whatever, to do odd jobs there, whatever needs to be done. Make sure they charge you appropriately. Like, make sure they're good pricing, and tell them up front, hey, if you do a good job, you'll just keep getting work, but I'm not going to pay like premium pricing. You know, we were using a plumber at one of our other parks, and he charged me something ungodly one weekend because it was the weekend. I was like, I'm not using you anymore. I'll pay you this time, but I'm not using you anymore. So I set all those precedents. And then say that you really just vibe with somebody and they want to live there, they want to do right by you, they want then you outline an agreement on paper that works for both of you, right? And this is your job. This is what you do. You know, if you don't want it after time, just give us, 60 days notice. That's it, right? So I hope that you got something out of this. If you're on the look for a park, hunting for a park, I do have a one-on-one mentorship where I actually just got my client park under contract. We're in due diligence right now. Hopefully this one goes through for him. So if you're wanting a park, wanting to know how to underwrite, talk to sellers, find the deals. I mean, we get off-market deals, get financing, structure the deals, manage it, operate it, all that stuff. I had somebody reach out to me last night and they wanted to trade something. I was like, I don't do that. It's a set price if you want to do it. If not, the program's not free. It's not a big deal. Not hurting for it. It's just I'm helping people here and there. So, and if you already have parks, I'd love to hear about your experience with on-site managers. There's different names for them. Some people have park hosts, but and whatever. They have different names for them. But I'd love to hear your experience, and if you agree or disagree, we're all different, and anything you could add would be great. And this is the Property Profits Podcast. My name is Travis Wells. Appreciate the heck out of you jumping on. If you enjoyed this, please refer it to a friend, a family member. I'm not running any ads on this. This is all free info. And until next time, kick some ass.